Yo, what's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. For the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my thoughts and my rants and my opinions to broaden your horizon and to get into contact with me. I swear, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop by searching up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. There you can chat me live, and there you can listen anywhere in the world. So if you're listening live right now, what's up? If you're listening on demand, it's cool. If you want to listen anytime, just get the Hoppe Radio app. And also, email me if you're listening on demand and you want to talk to me. RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. All right, I have so much to get into, but I have this little thing that I have to get off my chest. And this rant's not going to make a lot of people happy, but there's nothing you can do about it. All right, I'm in this fantasy football league, and it's probably the first time I've been in a fantasy football league probably since, 2013. I mean, I did it because it's like, hey, you know what? You want to have fun. Life goes by so fast. You're working all the time. It's supposed to be a fun thing. There's a reason why the word fantasy is in front of the word football, because it's not real. So I joined the league, and I was so excited. I felt like I was back to being a teenager again. I was picking my quarterbacks, my running backs, my wide receivers, players that I don't even know exist, hoping for the best, that my team will be good. And the season begins well, you know. I'm 1-0, then I'm 2-0, and I've lost the last two, and now I'm like 2-3. But you know what? I didn't let it get to me, because the word fantasy is in front of it, so you know it's not a real world. But here's the issue of when you play fantasy football, and this isn't just my league, this is any league ever, is you have the dudes that live through the players. You have the dudes that love football, and they never were good enough to play football, or they played it, but they played it back in the day, but they never were able to play in college, or obviously the pros. So fantasy football is the 14 to 15 weeks that they can pretend they're the players, man. They get so into it. And it's the most nauseating thing. So in this league I'm in, I don't even know the players. I traded my running back to the guy that runs the league for 2 wide receivers, and I thought it was an okay trade, you know? I had no problem with it, you know? Whatever. All of a sudden, in the Facebook fan page that we have for the group, there is a whole topic. Was that trade fair? Should it have gone down? What do you guys think of it? And there's like over 20 comments about how it wasn't fair, blah, blah, blah. Do you hear yourself? Do you possibly hear yourself right now? Is a fantasy world fair? No. This isn't we're talking about was the game last night fair? Or was what happened at work fair? Even if you're playing a board game, or you're playing chess, and the person cheats, you're at least contributing to the game. You have nothing to do with the fantasy football world. The trade is obviously fair because you picked the players in the draft that you wanted, so sorry if your team sucks. I'm sorry, but fantasy football players, literally, anybody that's in these teams, they live way too much into it. It's like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Oh my God. Like, you have nothing to do with it. At least with anything else you can do in life, you put your effort into it, so if you fail, it's your fault. Or if you do well, it's on you. Good for you. But with fantasy football, you're hoping that the players do well. And if they don't, whatever. Because then you see these people freaking out on Facebook. Oh my God, Tom Brady only got me 14 points. Oh, because Tom Brady, every time he's in the huddle with his team and he's trying to get that first down last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football, he's going, man, to all the fantasy players out there, I really hope tonight I get some touchdowns so I can help them win their fantasy team, so they can win their league. He's not thinking, well, we just won another Super Bowl. I want to win one again this year, so we got to win all their regular season games to get to the playoffs and then win a Super Bowl. No, all the players in the NFL are going, you know what? We got to win for that goofy name team with the guy that takes it way too seriously. I'm absolutely sick and tired of fantasy football. I'll play it. I'll do it, but I might not do it next year because it's just all the hassle that goes into it. And then people are like, well, you need to add to the talk about it. So like they'll have like a forum on Facebook and everyone's debating if the trade was fair or not. And you're like, why aren't you commenting on it? I don't know, because I have 2 jobs and I'm working all the time, or I'm sleeping, or I'm doing the show. I don't have time to debate about a fake fantasy football world. Oh my God. So I put that post up. I did a tweet about it last week. And Dominic, this guy who's a really cool Bone listener, one of my friends, he tweets at me, well, complaining about fantasy football is no different than doing a podcast because that's fantasy radio, which is so far from the truth that it's unreal. Because even if a podcast isn't on the radio, a lot of times people that do podcasts currently are actually making more money than people that are in radio. And they have more sponsors than people that are in radio. And there's a recent poll that came out that said that 45% of people now listen to podcasts. So they have grown since they came out about 10 years ago. And the other thing is, a lot of times, former radio people then do podcasts and make a living off of doing podcasts. So this whole thing where people were like, oh, but you're doing fantasy radio by doing a podcast. No, I'm not. It's potato. It's completely and utterly different. And then people were like, well, if you can make a living off of doing podcasts, what's the difference with people making a living off of doing shows off of fantasy football? Podcast is a niche that can reach out to anybody. I have female listeners, I have male listeners, I have hetero listeners, I have gay listeners, I have every race. I have a very unique group of people that listen to my show. And talk radio and music radio brings out very unique amounts of demographics when it comes to listeners. Here's why it's different than a dude that does an all fantasy football podcast. My girlfriend wouldn't be looking for Joe Schmo's fantasy football podcast debating if you should play Drew Brees this week against the defense or Tom Brady against that weak defense. The only people that would potentially look out for fantasy football material are people that watch sports, and even then, it's the little small group of people that do fantasy football. So I'm sick and tired of everybody ripping into podcasts and trying to compare it to fantasy football. It's just a dumb argument. But hey, you know, Trey, my friend, chimes in. This is the 3rd podcast I've listened to today, so that's a good point. Yeah. The thing, too, I love about when people rip into podcasts is you're not on the radio, so people can't ever listen to you. Yeah, it's not like podcasts have mobile apps, and they're on the smartphone, and they're on Kindles, and they're on Amazon Fire, and they're on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, TuneIn Radio, the podcast app on iTunes, and then they go, well, but you're not on in a city, Hoppe. You can gain any potential listener by putting certain tags on your YouTube videos or your Spreaker videos, and then people find your show. So if you talk about a local news headline that happens in a city, and it's not being talked about a lot, so when you search out that headline, it'll show my show or somebody else's show. Or if you interview somebody from that city and then they retweet it, like I've had everybody from the Riz show on in St. Louis, now I have a decent listening base in St. Louis. So the whole thing of, oh, you're just doing a show on Facebook or you're just doing a podcast, nobody listens to them. If you actually look up the numbers and you look up the research, you would be pleasantly surprised on how factually wrong that is. I'm just saying. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just, those are feelings and emotions that I have held in for probably, I don't know, a few years now on when people go, oh, you just do a podcast, an internet radio show. Whatever. I'm just saying. All right. I saw this in the news here. It says, shocking moment when a Carolina Panthers fan sucker punches an old man who complained about him being on his feet the whole game. A person watching the Panthers-Eagles game on Thursday night captured video of a fight breaking out at Bank of America. The video shows a man wearing a Cam Newton jersey punching an older man seated behind him several times. Here's my thing. I'm sure the guy that did it, who fought the old man, I'm sure he was drunk. I'm sure he was inebriated. Now, maybe it's because I'm a very simple person, so I don't have the mindset to get into a fight with somebody when I'm drunk. Frankly, when I'm drunk, I don't like being in public because I'm tall and I'm very awkward. So when I'm like in crowds, I'm walking on people's feet and I'm shoving into people on accident. And I don't mean to. But if I'm drunk at the bars, I'm just trying to have a fun night, get into my Uber and go home because I've never driven drunk ever. I don't believe in it. I think you're a moron if you drive drunk. So I don't get these people, especially at sport games, where the whole like gladiator attitude comes out, where they're like, you know what? I'm going to get into a fight and I'm going to beat someone's ass because I'm drunk, bro. I don't get the whole bro attitude where you're getting into fights over sports. It's just lame. Especially like, and I don't want to say it's all Raider fans, but a lot of times you hear about these fans out in Oakland that beat up the rival team fans that are drunk yelling at each other as if they're going to think that's going to impress Derek Carr. Like, let's say the Raider fan that beats up a rival fan does it because the opposing fan goes, yeah, Derek Carr, S is D. He sucks at football. F Derek Carr. Do you think the fan that reacts to that is impressing Derek Carr? Do you think the fan's going to read about it and go, oh my God, Derek Carr is proud of me that I broke a guy's face because he insulted the quarterback that's worth millions and can bang any girl he wants? No. That's why I never get the whole attitude of getting mad over sports or fantasy football. Is, you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. You know what? It doesn't mean squat. I'm the guy that used to get so mad at sports. I used to get furious. Like the game Pittsburgh, Green Bay, probably 7 years ago in the Super Bowl, I hated the Packers. I hated them because they were better than the Bears. It was just me being jealous because I'm from Chicago and I hate that Wisconsin's always good at football up in Green Bay. So you know what I did? It was when Big Ben threw that pick in the fourth quarter with like 30 seconds left and then the Packers won the Super Bowl. I think like Woodson got the interception. My dad was like, okay, the game's over. Go do the dishes. And I go, you know what? I'm going to go do it. So I grab one of the plates and I go, F you, Aaron Rodgers. And I smash the plate on the ground. Then I go, ah! I really proved the point to the whole audience of my mom and my dad and my two cats that saw me break a plate over Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl ring. Ah! Chris chimes in. Could also be as simple as a beer being poured onto somebody or an obscene fan near a family that can bring on fights. That's a good point too. I never got the whole thing where the drunk dad is mad that the person is swearing near his kid. So he goes, you know what? I'm not just going to walk to the side and teach my kids not to say a four-letter word. I'm going to sucker punch the guy in the face because it actually is a better idea to actually break a guy's face. You know, or I never get the like boyfriends that really have to prove the point that their girlfriend isn't a whore. So you have a drunk guy go, your girlfriend's a whore. She gave me a mouth hug last night. So then the boyfriend's like, I have to protect her dignity. So then he just punches the guy in the face. Like, is the girlfriend proud? No. Going back to this article, do you think the parents or the family or the girlfriend of the guy that sucker punched the old man is proud because he was on his feet and it drove the old man nuts? No. You come off like a pussy and a loser who takes sports way too seriously. Nobody's going, wow, you beat up an old guy. That is outrageous and edgy and unique. I'm proud of you. You beat up an old man that was just trying to like the game. That is just awesome, dude. You are so cool. All right. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk more about everything going on in the news. So tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour. After this, do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to my show.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour. What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from the award-winning Hoppe Hour podcast here in Tampa Bay. And
I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Talk about my new friend of
Don't you
Hoppe
love
Hour,
this nice
Tampa
setup,
Bay
my little
fans
iPhone?
who have made the
Cool,
new
bud.
Hoppe Hour t-shirts
Tip a lot.
possible. And here's why you should check them out, because I'm a man of my words. They offer a broad range of decorating techniques that are all performed in-house.
Who the hell's watching this?
Garment, screen painting, and embroidery.
I appreciate it.
They are very exceptional, and they produce each order on an individual basis. So they care about making sure it comes to you as soon as
What's up, Mo?
possible.
What's up?
They operate at their own art setup and embroidery factory here in Tampa Bay, and they provide the highest quality screen printing in all of Florida. And guess what? They use the top-notch equipment and top-grade inks to ensure.
I wish I had like a
that their
commercial I could run while I'm taking breaks,
at a
but it's so
standard
awkward when I'm
that
just
they
like
can be
sitting here
proud of.
going,
And maybe you're going,
and people are
"Oh,
actually
man,
watching,"
how can
but
I
whatever.
get into contact with such a great company? Trust me, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is give them a call right now at 813-374-9544. That's 813-374-9544. Or you can visit them right off of West Shore Boulevard in Tampa Bay. That's at 4817 South West Shore Boulevard. And go to their website, TampaBayBands.com. Trust me when I say that they are the best in the Bay.
oh yeah. Doesn't this song just get you in the mood? Doesn't it make you just want to get down with your girlfriend for a Friday night of sex? Maybe not. I feel like that comment overall was just low-hanging fruit. That was like a shock jock with the wacky voice just talking. But anyway, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop. All right. It seems like Facebook, once again, is showing how unoriginal it is, but at the same time, we all are going to use it. They have taken the idea of Uber Eats and come up with their own version. As Facebook signs up, this is pretty good, Five Guys, Chipotle, and Panera for new food delivery service. Which I think this will help prevent DUIs. And this is how. If Five Guys and Panera and places like that, if they can be open late in areas that have bars, think about all the money you're going to make. I know there's going to be employers that are not going to want to make bowls at 3 in the morning or make a burger at Five Guys. But if you were to have this, the Facebook app where it drops off food like Uber Eats, and you were to have Five Guys be open until 4 a.m. and have it in a bar hopping area, think about all the money you can make. And think about all the DUIs that could be prevented. So I really believe that the late night food options, the market is completely wide open. Because if you're in Florida, the two places that are open is Wawa and McDonald's, Waffle House, and IHOP. But I really believe that Five Guys and Chipotle and Panera, this is a huge chance for them to make a splash in any market. And what's the worst thing that happens? You guys are open 24/7 and you don't get any business? Then you just go back to being open like 11 to 5 or whatever. Or 11 a.m. to like 9 or 10 p.m. Because like, it's worth trying because you're going to always have weirdos. Always are going to be weirdos that are going to want to eat all day long. So it's worth it. The app is also going to have Papa John's and Jack in the Box, which it's an utter shame that there aren't more Jack in the Boxes in the world. Like, it should be in every single city. It's just unreal. And it says here, the company also signed on to add options from a number of food ordering services such as DoorDash and Olo. All right. Facebook on Friday launched a service through which its U.S. users can order food for takeaway or delivery through its app or website. Facebook.com is working with Jack in the Box, like I said, Chipotle, Papa John's, Five Guys, and Panera. The company has been trying to test out the feature since last year, and after it worked very well, it's going to roll it out by the end of this year. I got a comment from Chris. Don't be surprised if Amazon doesn't enter the market soon. Amazon is going to be the one that blows everybody out of the water. I feel like Facebook is kind of rushing this by not having enough options, but you know Amazon right now is looking at their board members and they're like, how can we blow Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Facebook when they do this out of the water? And you know they're going to. It says here, users will have to go on the order food section on Facebook's menu, which will show them a list of participating areas which they can place their food. The options will also have local eateries as well as national chains. This is a perfect way for a local place to get on the map, like a local mom and pop pizza shop or coffee shop. That is what's going to change the game. Whatever coffee chain, if it's Bucks or if it's Dunkin' Donuts or Caribou Coffee or anything, whoever comes out and has the type of coffee that can be dropped off at your door, that will change the game forever. Because I am waiting for that. There are days that I have to wake up for work in the morning and I don't have time to go to Dunkin', so I have to find time to go to Dunkin', or I just drink one of the Mountain Dews I have here. And you know how amazing it would be if you could tell Dunkin', yeah, at 8:25 a.m. at my apartment in South St. Pete, can you drop off a hazelnut iced coffee? That would be the greatest thing since sliced bread. My good friend Todd said, podcasted Hoppinator. What up, Todd? All right. It says here that this will be brought very soon and that they say it will do very well. Amazon Prime could make so much money off of food because what they could do is they could see that you're watching Amazon Prime on, let's say, your smart TV or your laptop or your smartphone or your Kindle, wherever you're watching it, and they can go, are you hungry? And they'll have a little pop-up on the bottom, and you go, yeah, I'm pretty hungry. And then, voila, magic. There, you can find a way to make money, Amazon, just saying. All right, tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppe Radio. You get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio. All right, I saw this article here, and this is pretty sad. I never get the guys that want women to look just like they do in modeling pics, because people don't realize that modeling pics are completely photoshopped and they are paint dried to make the women look out of this world beautiful. Like, women are completely beautiful, but like, it's one of those things where I almost appreciate a woman that doesn't wear makeup and looks beautiful more than a girl that has to put on 10 pounds of makeup to look amazing. Because it says here, model is receiving rape and death threats for showing off her hairy legs in an Adidas ad and saying that she looks like a gross monkey. Well, here's the thing. Is these guys that are making the death threats are the losers that are watching porn or that are having fun time to pick some models, and they think that women look like that. That women are just perfect and they never have bad hair days and they're never not wearing makeup. So when they see that this beautiful model from Sweden is in an Adidas campaign and she has hairy legs, they go, oh my God, that's shameful. That's gross. No, it's not. That's how most women are. They wait till the last minute to shave their legs. Like, no girl is perfect. This girl, Arvida Byrom from Sweden, posed in a new Adidas original campaign. She has received threats to rape her And she is getting this via DMs on social media. I always wonder, like, when somebody sends like a death threat via social media, like, if they're proud of themselves, if you go, man, because like, there's times I'll send a message when I'm mad, and you send it and you go, oh, I shouldn't have sent that. Or even just in a normal like phone call, if you leave a voicemail and then you hang up and you go, I probably shouldn't have left that voicemail. Or you send an email, like it's 2004, and you go, oh, I probably should not have sent that email. I wonder what is going through a dude's mind when you send a death threat to a model because she has hairy legs and a pic, which is how most girls are. If you send a message and you go, man, mission accomplished, I just made someone feel like crap. Or if there's any part of them that feels like a loser, which they should feel like it because they are. All right, it says here, this is her quote. Me being such a beautiful white woman, it's very odd to get all these threats just because of a little leg hair. I love how she has to add in the beginning, me being a beautiful white woman. Like, yes, we know you're good looking. Thanks for reminding us. I can't even imagine what it's like to not possess all these privileges and to try and exist in the world. Sending love and try to remember that not everybody has the same things that you have as a person. It's a little entitled to say, but just saying. I actually think, and I'll tweet out the picture at Ryan Hoppe Radio, I actually think it's kind of a cute look on her. She has hairy armpits, and like, that's how a lot of girls are. Like, you can't blame her. Like, you can't freak out over it. Like, not every girl takes care of herself perfectly. And that's the sad part about like modeling pics and pornography, is that it gives us a fake world where we think girls are completely perfect and that sex is going to be crazy and that they're just going to be looking hot all the time. Like, I tell my girlfriend all the time, like, there's days that she doesn't put on any makeup, but she's naturally pretty, so she doesn't even need to. And I think that's the best part about women, is when you're so pretty that you don't even need to put on makeup because you're that good looking. And frankly, even if you aren't the best looking girl, you shouldn't even be shamed if you don't put on makeup. I feel bad that girls have this pressure that they have to look amazing all the time, even if they go out to eat. Like, for a dude, it's so easy. You wake up in the morning, you touch your balls, you go in the shower, you take a quick shower, dry off your hair. Okay, what shirt should I wear with my jeans? Then you put on the socks, and you put on the shoes, and then you get ready. Girls, they have to get up, they have to do their hair, they have to put on perfume, they have to put on a nice shirt, they have to put on makeup, eyeliner. Like, it's a lot of work. And it's sad that we live in a world where they have to. Like, there's a comment. It's not a girl, it's a monkey. Another comment. Go, girl! Even though you'll have a hard time getting a boyfriend now. Like, it's coming from some guy named Nicholas Ibarra, who, you always know that the random troll who comments a mean pose is a loser because he's the one that's taking the shirtless picture of just his head. And it's like in his room. Because if he had friends or if he had a girlfriend, he would be out in a social situation. But the fact that he's home alone, taking a selfie, commenting mean things at a beautiful girl with Under Armour hair, makes you realize that he's a loser. My friend, Trey, chimes in. He goes, I always wake up and touch my balls. That's what every dude does. And I'm not even trying to be gross, but you get up and you're like, another day. And you go to that region. I'm not going to reenact it on Hoppe TV if you're watching. Now, I'm going to tweet some of these pictures at Ryan Hoppe Radio. This girl is beautiful. I don't know what people are hating on. Oh, she has a little hair in her underarms. Oh, heaven forbid. Because these guys that are commenting these mean posts would totally say this to the girl's face. Would totally go, yeah, you're gross because you have hair on your underarms. They wouldn't totally want to have sex with the girl. Or they wouldn't be so socially awkward that when they talk to the girl, they would just look down at the ground and not at her in the eyes. You got to remember that anybody that says anything mean over the internet is an anonymous loser who would never, ever say it to your face. If it's a mean fan of a fan base on, let's say, Twitter or Facebook, they would never say it to your face. Or even if you go on Reddit. Reddit's the absolute worst. They could post about how some charity got $400,000 for, let's say, for a person trying to find a cure to breast cancer, a research. That's what I'm trying to say. And this group, this charity gets $400,000 for it. And a person on Reddit could go, but I could have got $500,000. Like, you're going to always have negative comments online. So you just got to remember that these pussies would never, ever say it to your face. All right. Here's the deal. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio and get the Hoppe Radio app and chat me live. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour after this. Do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you are listening to my show.